Dude, it's called the Cron Technologies Chronos, and it shoots 40,000 frames per second. And I found Anchor actually sells power stations now that put out 220, 240. Like, it's got the lock-in, power connector, I forget what it's called or whatever. CVD are the Chinese ones, and then there's American ones, and it's because the US ones aren't just better because they're made in the US. The US has a different process for putting the zinc selenium coating on it or whatever, and it gives you a better, reflection. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Laser Source Podcast. It is a good day to be here, and welcome to all of our regulars, Matt, Kyle, and Boyce, and Michael's here from Laser Engraving 911. Go ahead, buddy. Man. Don't let me stop you. You work on getting your stream live.
I will.
Yeah. Michael's streaming to his channel, Laser Engraving 911, right now, as well as he likes to do from time to time when he visits us over here. But what's up, everybody? Welcome. I'm super excited to be here today because we are, for the first time, going live on Laser Everything TV, which is pretty rockin'. It's pretty freaking cool, actually. And some things changed a little bit, but not much. The highlighted comments look a little bit different now, so it's a work in progress. I have to do some back-end stuff between this episode and the next one to get the other guys to be able to do this too, because right now I'm the only one who can click the button, but we are working on something to be able to share highlighting comments between team members. In the meantime, I will do my very best to keep my eyes out for your comments and questions so we can throw them up on the screen for you. And if you guys see something and I'm just not seeing it, just read it out loud. I mean, there's no reason not to do that. I'll try to find it in the background while we wait for answers, but that's that. I mean, this is pretty cool. So if you guys check out the new feed here, you can see we've got kind of like the labels. The OBS labels are working now, so we can see our most recent super chatter was Director of Awesome, who gave that not $100 answer a $100 super chat. So it was really cool. Thanks again, Director. We can see the sub count, which is cool. I really like that. The most recent gifter, if somebody gifts memberships to the channel, like when Blonde Fox did those 25 was just like, and then we can see our most recent subscriber too, which is Reginaldo Vieira, which is pretty cool.
Hi, Reginaldo.
Yeah, and live chats there, guys, and a bunch of other stuff. But I want to welcome you all here. Thank you so much again for joining us on the Laser Source Podcast. And I have something very cool coming that's going to be a lot of fun and a lot of entertainment.
He's so excited about this thing.
I've heard you whispering about it, and I'm getting very excited about it, whatever it is.
Dude, it's called the Cron Technologies Chronos, and it shoots 40,000 frames per second.
You need bum bum boom. Yeah.
It's like borderline slow-mo guys level slow. It's starting to get into what they can do. Of course, the resolution is going to be poor because it's not a Phantom Flex.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's not like $180,000 camera, but it should allow us to see the individual pulses of the laser.
So are you going to maybe add a little pixie dust like I did to help kind of capture that? You may not need the IR camera. You may just need to add the pixie dust.
So here's the thing. It has a user removable IR filter, first of all. So you can literally just pull the IR filter off of the sensor. The second thing is it's compatible with a microscope lens. So I'll be able to actually get down to the size where you're looking at the individual, like a sewing machine. Because when you zoom out and speed up to real time, the laser just looks like a fan, right? It's just wow.
Yep.
And if you slow that down, what it really is the galvo going wah, 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 and it's just moving really, really fast. So it appears like a fan, but really it's a line that's just moving back and forth really fast. If you slow that down, and you know this, these are pulsed lasers. So that beam that's moving back and forth isn't really a beam.
No.
It's a bunch of little pulses, and we're going to try to capture those pulses at 40,000 frames per second with the Chronos.
I have no doubt that you will capture it in all of its glory.
I'm really excited to be able to share that with people.
One thing, too, that Willie Sims just mentioned in chat, he said it would be really cool to see the different materials and the reflective properties that we talk about all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what we had talked about. Like, one of the first things that I said to Alex was, wouldn't it be cool as hell if you could like film infrared, and instead of telling everybody, like we've been telling you, hey, wear the glasses, even if you're not like 45 degrees off or whatever, you know, like just because the saturation of the space with infrared. And he goes, well, actually, it will film it. And I was like, yes. And so, like, if you can actually show people, like, the flashes of light that are happening in such quick succession. The other thing, too, that I thought would be really cool is being able to show people frequency or something really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Frequency would be really easy to show because if you get the camera focused on a material and you set it to 25 kilohertz at a fast speed, like 1,000, you're going to see X number of pulses within a certain amount of space. And then if you turn that speed way down, you're going to see way more pulses in a smaller area because it's literally the galvanometer is pushing that beam across slower with the same number of pulses. So you're pushing your pulses together. We'll be able to explain a lot of concepts about lasers in ways that we've never even been able to think about doing before. Yeah,
that's
so
awesome.
It's really cool.
By the way, there's a question that we missed from Cuban Cracked that asked Michael, how much did that laser cost? I don't know if that's something you covered in the video.
Yeah, I covered it. Yeah, so you can actually get it directly from SFX, and I think it hovers somewhere around 15 to 16K. It's really, I told you, it's not a lot of bells and whistles. It's just raw, controlled power. It's just raw power.
I love that you grabbed the SFX too, because we're big fans of SFX over here. So it was neat to see that pop back up. Did you talk to Venus or did you?
I did. I talked to Venus, and
dude, Venus is the man.
At first, he was like, "Hey, Alex is great. You know, he did a great video for the fiber laser. Would you like us to send you a fiber laser?" And I was like, "Actually, I had something else in mind."
Yes,
and
but also more.
Yeah, and then we had the conversation from there, and he was like, "Yes, we need a video in America of someone really showing what this machine could do."
Venus has been begging me to take a fiber cleaner for so long, and I've just not had the capacity to like handle. We've got so many other projects going on around here, and it's just not been something that I've had the time to do. So I'm really glad that you got to pick one up and I get to watch it on your channel instead.
Yeah, I don't mind.
I'll do the review.
Yeah, I'm sure you will.
All you see is voices, background of bricks fucking lasered all over the place.
Alex, you can come to Georgia anytime and we can do a week series of just cleaning everything.
I'm gonna. Let's see. I just wanted to shout out Anthony real quick. Anthony says, "Hey everybody, another Tuesday, another late shift. Just wanted to drop in and say, hey, what up, Anthony, dude?
Hey, what's up, Anthony?
Thanks for swinging by." John enjoyed the Slow-Mo Guys reference. It's hardly a reference, man. They have like 50 million subscribers or whatever. It's like everybody and their grandmother. Also, Daniel says, "Alex, I saw that cool unboxing of the GZ Tech GM80 laser source. Did you get around to testing that yet? I'm about to pull the trigger on buying one." I have not gotten around to testing it yet, just based on the aesthetics and the feel of the thing when you take it. I mean, it just feels heavy duty. When you pull that kind of equipment out of the box, you can tell the heavy duty stuff from like the, this is going to fall. Yeah. But it feels great. It looks great. I've seen it reviewed really positively from other people in the space. I would not hesitate to pull the trigger on it. If you do, certainly let them know you saw the unboxing. They're very upset with me right now because I promised them a fiber laser build project, which I have not started yet. So I need to get to that. That's
tell them you built a human being.
Bro, it's like I keep saying that to people, but I don't know if they are picking up what I'm putting down on that. So
they're like, Wilson baby goggles.
Yeah, for real. They're like, get to work. Yeah. So they did send that out. We did unbox it. It feels really good. I have very good feeling about it. We've not started our build. That we should do that soon. Actually, we should put that on Monday.
So it's it's a JPT 80.
No. This is from GZ Tech.
Oh, GZ Tech.
Yeah, so a bunch of dudes at JPT were like, JPT's not really innovating anymore. We find that irritating. So they bailed and they were just like, we're going to make our own. So they started GZ Tech. That's my understanding of it, of course, translated and then probably translated again and then told to me through a source from another source. But, you know, that's kind of the short version. So I'm stoked to play with it. We mentioned a long time ago, I think before we were, you know, before you were doing YouTube Hard, we were planning on doing like a fiber laser build from scratch.
I remember you talking about that.
Our own controller, our own galvo head, and that was the source. So they were like, hey, we'll send you a source. Just show it off while you're building the laser. And I was like, word, I can do that. So I'd really like to start that. We need to put that on Monday. I don't know, hey, Kyle, if you're listening, can you take a note for me?
Here.
Okay, I'm not going to remember that 10 minutes from now, but I'd really like to do that still. So yes, GZ Tech, totally. I would go for it. That's, you know, at your own risk, but I would go for it.
Willie had a good comment here talking about using the new laser. Take that out to the tractor repair guys. Like literally, if you went to a show, when I go to, there's a Saturday market near me that literally has like the knife sharpening guy and you pay cash only and he just takes care of whatever you got. That's one of those things where you ask for a booth way down at the end. Like
You say,
it still has electricity.
bring your
and
stuff
just
to get cleaned.
That's it. And literally it's like, I take cash or cash. And
Right.
that's it. And like just like,
Yeah, because it works really fast.
that's what, dude, like honestly, there's some of those things that people would totally bring to you and just be like, hey, you need to get rid of that powder coating real quick. I got you.
I was on Amazon recently looking for power supplies for this rig for LBX for our live broadcast, and I found Anchor actually sells power stations now that put out 220, 240. Like it's got the lock-in like power connector, I forget what it's called or whatever, but it can literally power stuff like that.
Did you need a portable dryer?
I have a video coming up in a few weeks on portable power supplies, and this particular machine requires 6,000 watts when it's running at 100%. And I checked that with meters. I hooked up a special meter in line, and I saw how much it's actually drawing. It gets to about 30 amps plus, and it's about 6,000 watts.
What kind of breaker do you have? Is that a 50 amp breaker?
I put in a 240 50 amp just for this machine. But what I really want to know is how many watts it's drawing when the chiller is running and the laser source. When they all, because some, you know, the chiller doesn't run all the time. It only turns on when it needs to cool the head off and everything else.
Yeah, but compressors have like a high spike too when they start up.
They do. So
right?
it kind of like, that's why I say 6,000. It's kind of, it kind of cruises at 4.5. But then it peaks up to 6,000 and then it comes back down. It's pretty cool.
Literally just laughing out loud because I'm thinking about the idea that I just had, and like you've got an extension cord going down the sidewalk, and some shop just keeps having like
brownouts.
like
Brownouts.
Yeah, they're sitting there like, damn cash register won't work.
Yeah, but dude, you can definitely find a portable power supply to run your rig there, Alex, for sure.
Yeah. Totally. John says soon Laser Everything will have 50 million subs. That would be nice. Let's advance that goal by smashing the like button if we haven't already. And it will not be in vain because we're broadcasting on LETV right now. So if you smash the like button, it will stay smashed. Which means you won't have to smash it next Tuesday because it should still be smashed at that point. What's GZ Tech innovating? Sean's asking. Which part? Again, I don't have specifics. It's probably stuff over my head. I know one of the things that makes their sources stand out over the JPTs, for example, certainly things like Rakis, are the peak pulse output power. So instead of things capping off at like 1.5 or 2 millijoules, you might see things start to peak at like 3 to 5, depending on the source model. They have a really big catalog that goes into the details on all of that. But I know one of the things they were focusing on was getting those desktop style split machines or like the little cart style machines to be able to use sources that allow for higher peak pulse output power, because that's something that's been the same for a long time. And the issue there is that some of these sources like the JPTs, basically just fiber lasers in general. I shouldn't even say JPTs. Fiber lasers in general, the whole reason they're pulsing is because the internals, you've seen Michael's cleaner, it's huge. It's a big thing. It's got a big fat fiber optic cable in it. The fiber optic cables inside of your laser sources on the desktop units are not built to handle that much juice for that long. They literally will burn out or melt down or whatever it is they do. So they have to pulse instead. They pulse that high power, and that even has a limit. If you push too much power through the fiber optics, you're going to damage the machine. So they have caps on the peak pulse output power. And one of the areas, according to my understanding of what I've been told in the conversations I've had, is that they're trying to push the limits of that. That's an area where they're, again, trying to perhaps innovate. I'm not a company rep. I don't want to make promises on behalf of them. Again, this is all kind of translated from a guy. So this is just kind of the tea that I've sipped in my walks around with GZ Tech, but it looks very interesting. I'm still trying to teach myself about a lot of the stuff they have going on. And of course, all of that has been on hold because we've been working on the marketplace, working on LATV, and I've been having a baby and we've been moving. So I haven't really been in that headspace. So I'm gonna have to do some refreshers. But when we get to installing it and building the fiber laser, hopefully I can get a little more specific, answering the questions you guys might have about it. So
I'm excited to see that too, Alex, because I'm not gonna ever build my own fiber laser, but I think that just watching you go through the process will help me understand better what I'm looking at should I need to go into my own fiber laser. Just seeing how everything kind of links together and understanding which part is controlling what. That's why I'm looking forward to your video.
Yeah, I think putting something like that together for a video series will be really beneficial, because if you understand how something is put together and how it works, I think you're that much more prepared to repair it or diagnose at the very least what's wrong, if something happens. And so, and even beyond that, probably better positioned to utilize the tool if you understand what's inside of it and what's going on, instead of it just being like a dark mystery box. Yeah, definitely. Great point, dude. I'm stoked for it too, for the same reason. I'm gonna learn. I'm definitely not going into this understanding 100% of what's going on in there. So
I feel like the one thing, I agree with what Michael's saying, and to add on to it, it's almost like when you look at a computer, like a PC that's in a tower, it looks like it's some kind of contraption with all these different things tying together, but then you realize it's actually just a few things that really make everything work, and it's actually not too complicated. It's not anything you should play around with, by the way, because the power source and all that stuff, will give you a little jolt, get your millijoule for real that way. Yeah, welcome to your millijoule. But a couple of questions that I saw, one was actually from Laura, Laser of Love Creations, way up at the top a while back. She had asked about glass. So hopefully she asked her a question about glass engraving with Blazer Orange. Have you ever used that, Michael?
The Blazer Orange, the masking stuff?
Yeah.
That's specifically for laser etching. I have some on my wall. I have used it before. I think Alex and I experimented with that when we were doing sandblasting. We wanted to see if we could laser, put the mask on a glass, laser away what we wanted, and then bring it over to the sandblasting cabinet. And it worked okay.
I think we ran into issues with the rotary before we ran into issues with the orange. I
don't have anything wrong to say about the orange. I just don't specifically use it for that kind of masking, but it did work in theory.
I was going to say I've had success using the Blazer Orange just with the standard glass settings. The only thing that sucks about Blazer Orange is the fact that you have to weed out everything, except for the little stuff in between.
That's what it was. Alex and I realized we still had to do the weeding, and we were like, screw this stuff.
But if you just get what I did is I took a tape and I just wrapped my hand in it where the sticky side was out, basically, and I just kind of rolled my hand so it made almost like a lint brush on it, and that actually got a lot of it off.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then it was only a couple of pieces, but then you've got to wash the glass too now, because you don't want to leave residue on something. You're sitting up to somebody, be like, hey, here's your fancy glass, and they're like, what the is this, so what did this guy do to this glass? But I feel like and that was, by the way, for pint glasses before I got the UV. So I agree, thicker glass, Blazer Orange killed it to me.
And one more pro tip, since we're talking about CO2s and glass. I know you're just talking about UV. I don't know if this applies to UV. You'll have to let me know. Another pro tip, in my experience, the cheaper the glass, the better it's going to engrave.
It really is.
The
you know why?
cheaper quality of glass will always engrave better than the more expensive qualities
lead content,
of glass.
Baby.
Yep.
I was going to go that and the silica. I feel like the silica isn't pressed as hard because they're moving them quick, and it's machine made versus the handmade stuff. And so the process that it goes through, I don't know if it cools quicker or something like that. It's just the process. But he's exactly right. The dollar store stuff, JDS has really great products that I really like their glass. I've heard people say well, I pay a quarter cheaper for that because where I get my stuff from, and that's cool. But this thing made it to my door. There was one time where a couple came broken. I just sent they were like, send the whole case back. We'll send you a new one.
Yeah, they're good.
And so I really appreciate that kind of stuff. And it usually takes a couple days, and but I had really good luck too with the stuff from like the dollar store, Dollar General.
Willie says, by the way, got the official okay from the wife. We are going to LBX.
Hey, nice.
Cubing Cracked is popping in to say, hey, what up, Cubing? Good to see ya, as usual. Cubing's asking, does anyone have tips for what to do once you get your CO2 laser? I'm just about to get mine from shipping and wondered what to look out for. We talk about this fairly regularly on the podcast. Kyle, does your brain have on tap the episode where we went really in depth on this topic?
I don't, but I do have a good first pro tip. Don't crush your toes.
Yeah, that's helpful. That's a good start for sure.
Ooh, I have a good one for
Maybe
you.
wear
For real.
steel toe boots if you have them.
Go to Lowe's or go to Home Depot. I agree with Kyle, and get a pry bar. Like if it's something that's getting dropped off and you have to crack it open, just get a pry bar, man. Like it's like $10 and it's just so nice. Anytime you buy your Galvo, like I think every Galvo that's come, the first time I was so nervous I was going to break stuff with the pry bar, and everything stays intact. Especially if you didn't buy a stand for it, you can use the wood to make a stand for it.
And when you're done unboxing the crate, you can pretend to be Gordon Freeman.
Yeah, literally.
That's
Yeah,
helpful.
I'm not. I just have the sound of the crowbar in my head now.
Yeah.
Another thing is I'm not sure who you got it from or what CO2 model it is, but usually you want to check for like, I'm assuming you're asking like what to check for to see if it's something's wrong or whatever, but look for like how the gantry's held in place, like release all those clips, because I don't know how well the instructions are going to come with it, right?
Oh my God, unzip tie your gantry before you turn it on.
Unzip tie your gantry. I'm trying to I know we're talking about crowbars and stuff, but I'm trying
so
to like
true.
think of unzip your gantry.
After you get it in place.
Yes, after you get it in place.
Don't turn it on its side after you cut the zip tie off. That's a bad idea.
Open up panels, take a look inside. Just look for anything that was put in there for shipping, that like a piece of foam, random rogue pieces of foam that are left in there that you might not have seen or something, because you might have done the zip ties and all of a sudden, you're screwing around and there's some other piece of foam left in there that could jack your stuff up. So
Things I always recommend every time this comes up, and it comes up so often on this show, is I would just rip all of the tubing out and replace it. Get good silicone tubing and just put good silicone tubing in there. If there's any spots in your case, especially if it's the red and black, where it's like bending up around a corner and up through like a hole and then twisted up into you can get little 90-degree elbow joints, and you just hose, and then it'll just turn around corners no problem, and you don't have to kink and bend the hose. It's not a big deal when you first get the machine home and you plug it in, but 7, 8, 9 months of pushing hot water through a kinked silicone piece of tubing, and it like starts to deform that way, and eventually it just
Collapses on itself.
Yeah, it collapses in on itself, and it's a big problem. So just rip all of that out, get rid of it, put better silicone tubing in there. You just measure the inner diameter, outer diameter, go on Amazon, match it up, buy it, get a big length of it, you just cut it to the length you need. Replace all of the zip ties holding that tubing in place with real hose clamps. Again, just go on Amazon, get some real hose clamps and clamp the hoses to their little, spigot ports, because all of those kind of like generic machines, regardless of where they're coming from, Ohmtech, Momport, whatever, even the Eon had some zip ties in it. Get rid of the zip ties. Put some hose clamps in your machine. I promise, if you go back in the history on the channel, you can find the exact day that my zip ties failed and my laser dumped all of its water. Literally the chiller was going, so it was just pumping water out onto the floor until the chiller was empty while the laser was running. You don't want that to happen. Just get some hose clamps. They cost nothing. And then third, mirrors and lenses. God, the lens that ships with the Ohmtechs is such a piece of garbage, and you can get literally anything else, and it's going to be better. I really like, there's 10 High makes some really great ones on Amazon. Cloud Ray has some ones that I'm sure they've white labeled and slapped their name on. but they're decent. If you want to be ritzy, go to like American Photonics. It really doesn't matter. Just get anything else and just throw the lens that's in there. It's probably a 2-inch lens. Just throw it away. Just throw it in the garbage. And the mirrors. Get some, what are the good ones called, Kyle? Not the
zinc selenium.
Yeah, ZNSE.
Yeah, that's the zinc selenium ones.
Yeah, there's 2 kinds. There's CVD and it's like SVD. CVD are the Chinese ones, and then there's American ones, and it's because the US ones aren't just better because they're made in the US. The US has a different process for putting the zinc selenium coating on it or whatever, and it gives you a better reflection. I don't know how, why, whatever. Get the US ones. They're like $3 more.
If you look in the last, was it millijoule number 10 or 11, where we actually, that was one of the things that I brought up, was the sale that was going on there. Mm-hmm. The link to it actually goes right to that zinc selenium, the mirror set, and American Photonics, and it actually has an explanation of it on there, so I'll try and find that real quick.
And
but
we have links to all of this on the buying guide already,
right?
Too. So if you go to lasereverything.net/buying guide, literally all of it, including the silicone tubing, is on there waiting for you. So you can check that link out too. But just, yeah.
While you're waiting, the extra stuff that people forget about, go buy, I don't know if you can see it or not, but literally the white lithium grease, you can go to Lowe's or Home Depot.
The Lucas white lithium grease.
Yes, there it is right there.
It's very specific.
Lucas white lithium, this tube was like $6. If you go on Amazon, they sell like 5 tubes at a time. You can't really find like 1 tube at a time.
You're not even going to go through 1 tube in the lifetime of the machine. So
1 tube will last you. Yeah, if you're using it the way you should.
So go take the time to find it. So that'll be good, because if your gantry comes and it's not really, I know this sounds so weird because we've been talking about kinks and hose, and now I'm talking about lubrication in small packets. But for cleanliness, also make sure you get lens wipes. Like, honestly, go to Sam's Club, or like, I got a box of these little guys here, and they're awesome because this works for mirrors. And dude, I just got done doing acrylic. Like, that's the plastic payday video. I mean, I did like 4 hours worth of acrylic cutting and engraving, and that dust goes everywhere, even with great exhaust, even with air supply. It's just everywhere. And so when I took out the lens to clean it, this just makes life super easy, super quick. You can toss them, trash them. That way you're not using something dirty. You're not messing up anything. So that's a really good thing to get now.
Kyle, are you still going to do an episode on like re-greasing gantry rails too?
Yes, I will be doing a maintenance video at some point.
Because I remember I was doing it one way, and you were like, what the f*** are you doing? And I was like, I'm greasing my rails. And you're like, no, you're not.
The equivalent to that? Okay, so just for context, there is a grease port on rail blocks. Okay, some of them are blocked with a little Allen bolt and some of them are not. Either way, it doesn't matter, but that's actually a grease fitting. So some people will tell you to put lube directly on the rail and just leave it there. And that's just gross, because then it picks up everything in the air that floats past it. It's like taking a piece of duct tape and sticking it to the front of your car with the sticky part out, and you just catch everything on the way by.
That's a great way to look at it too.
So there's a fitting that you can pump oil into, and it gets it directly into the bearing, and now you don't have grease all over your rail that you have to either clean off or leave there, right?
See, now, this is an audio podcast, and I have the benefit of being here live, and I have video, and I still have no idea what you're talking about. So you're definitely going to have to make a video about this?
I will.
I can't see it, and I'm confused.
I actually need to do mine again, so we could do that together. That'd be an easy one.
Confused and scared.
We could tag team that one.
I heard grease and nipples.
And tag team.
Buckshot says, LMAO Half-Life Boys.
Yeah.
So, yeah, dude, always, now,
Half-Life, forever.
Cuban Cracked did confirm Ohmtech Red and Black 100 watt.
Nice.
So
cool.
Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah, check your alignment, check your belts.
Way to go, by the way, getting that machine, dude.
Gretsch Zeppelin is asking why Cubing can't decrate his laser with a 12 gauge.
Well, I thought Buckshot would ask that, actually.
You might do more than unbox.
Cuban Cracked is saying, sorry to bother with another question. Never, dude. That's ridiculous. What kind of lens do I need for a 100 watt fiber? Every time I look for a lens, they say it's only made for 60 watts or lower. Ooh. So, first of all, you can use any lens, and it's probably going to be fine. But what they really want you to get are, Kyle?
Quartz lenses.
There it is.
The reason why they're saying that is because quartz lenses can handle the additional power that you're throwing through it in that level of density. So there is a potential for breaking, shattering, cracking the lens. It kind of behaves almost like if there was dirt on the lens and you hit it with like a 60 watt or a 30 watt and it just superheated the glass where that speck of stuff is and it breaks it. It can do the same thing if you crank the power up and it heats up the glass, even if there's nothing on the lens.
What's your anecdotal experience been with that, Kyle?
I don't know because I have quartz lenses for it.
All of your lenses are quartz?
Most of mine are quartz, not all of them.
We need to do some science. I want to do some fact finding on that.
I mean, I guess I could for science it and throw a crappy like 70 millimeter lens and just crank the power to 100 and bury it into some steel and see what happens.
Just run it for like 24 hours.
Maybe not a 70 actually, because I don't want it to be that close to the lens or the material that close to the lens.
I was gonna say it just shatters everywhere.
No, we need maybe like a 150. I want a little focus distance between the rest of the machine and the...
Set up some cardboard around it to catch all the fragmentation.
We'll figure something out to test that later.
Sam is asking, and this is kind of a Kyle question because it's very Lightburn specific and you've been keeping up with this, Kyle. You all hear anything when Lightburn macro feature will work for Galvo? Also, any plans on making Lightburn macro videos for gantry on Laser Everything?
We've not dug into that yet.
Is that like macro, like computer macro?
That's what I'm assuming he's referring to, yeah.
I didn't even know that Lightburn had macro capabilities. That's interesting.
Yeah, I haven't dug into it at all. I haven't had a use case for it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like, well, I'm sure somebody's going to find a use case for it.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not going to ignore it now that I know that it exists. We'll have to touch on it, but I don't know what Lightburn's plans are for introducing that to Galvo. We can certainly look into it on Gantry, though. I have no problem with that. Hey, Love just dropped us ye old super chat, $9.99.
Yay,
Thanks so much,
thank you,
Laura.
love.
Thank
Nice
you.
shit.
Call Graphics says Macron told me to use 2 different computers when doing 2 different lasers. So that is required if you're using EasyCAD, which is what ships with the machine by default. So they're not wrong, but you do have additional capabilities when you opt to use Lightburn. And the ability to use one computer to do many lasers is one of them.
I mean, if you can afford it, that would be like the ideal answer.
I would still prefer using one computer, to be honest, because I don't have room for like 6 computers down here.
The only reason I was saying ideal is like if you ever decide to you either run out of room or you have to move something. Like I'm actually upgrading to a new computer. Kyle has laughed at me because I've had this new computer for like 2 weeks and I still haven't moved everything over to it. But like I'm in the middle of jobs and things work right here, so I'm just like, I'll just leave it for a little bit. Like I'm that guy. Like if it works, don't with it. But either way, it's one of those things where like it'll be nice too because I've got a couple different things heading this way that need another computer, so I actually be able to kind of take that over there. But as you're growing, I agree with Kyle. Like if you don't need to spend the money, why, right? If that's an expense, because that few $100s, like that $300 or $400 to get a machine that'll run it can buy you the lenses, it can buy you the mirrors, it can buy you all the extra stuff that we just talked about and keeps you in the black, which is where you want to be.
Austin says, what do you guys use for design software? I have a hard time using Adobe, but if it comes to it, I'll suck it up. At least a lot of us on the Lightburn team, not everybody, or not, oh my God, Lightburn. Everybody on the Laser Everything team enjoys using Adobe products for the most part. However, I like to use Lightburn for a lot of my simple stuff. If I'm not being super artistic, if I can do it with basic shapes, with letters, using Boolean, subtract, and union, and whatever other. If I don't have to go crazy with Adobe and I can do it faster in Lightburn, I will absolutely do it in Lightburn. But yeah, we've dabbled with a little bit of everything from Inkscape to Affinity to Adobe to Microsoft Paint. So,
what did you just say?
Just get through, crash through the Adobe doors, man. Just don't let those big tall castle doors be scary. You're gonna get through them. Once you get through them and you're in the Adobe castle, you'll look back and realize that it's going to be really beneficial. And I can see how Lightburn is very official. Very helpful at making like cutting designs and using the tools that are in Lightburn for mapping out. Like I watched you, Kyle, make that rotary jig for the business cards, in Lightburn.
So quick and easy, dude.
That was awesome. Could you do that in Adobe? Totally. But like, if you've got Lightburn and the tools, then that's great. But for design, you did say what design software. So for design, you're really just going to want to break through it and just keep at Adobe until you're comfortable and you're out of the uncomfortable zone.
And one thing I would add to both of what these guys said is price. I know is something that people get a little agitated about because they have to pay a fee, but we had May come on before. If you guys don't know her, she's awesome. And she's one of the Adobe, like the team, basically like their ambassadors. And she was talking about the different price scales that they have. So if you only are going to use Adobe Illustrator, you can just buy Adobe Illustrator. If you're only going to use Express, but I mean, once I think like Michael said, once you start using the software and you watch a few videos to learn what it is you're trying to do, and you can do it. And I know Alex has videos too of using Adobe. Michael has some, like the video you just dropped.
And Inkscape.
Yep.
And the one that I never use because it's weird. Affinity Designer. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
Having a stroke.
But Michael's last video literally talks about how to go through and do all that, so it's really cool. Or maybe not last video, but the last one I looked at.
No, it's the most recent one. Has a lot of good Adobe.
It popped up on my thing, and I was like, "Oh, this is cool."
There's a lot of good Adobe stuff in there. Like the whole video is almost Adobe.
Yeah, and so that's what I was gonna say. So see, my brain knows stuff. But long story short, don't be afraid. That's to me, it's one of those things like you're investing in it. It's not a cost so much as it is like a utility.
Pro tip: if you have anyone in your household, either yourself or maybe your wife that is an educator or a teacher, they will give you everything for a ridiculously cheap price. Every piece of Adobe software that they make, like for, I don't even, it's like $20 or something. If you can prove that you're an educator.
Yeah, educator or student, right?
Yeah, yeah, either one, and you just get the whole thing.
It's
Enroll that
it's
$1,500 community college course. Get that educator or student email. Send it in. Spend more, save more.
Or, pay for Adobe. It's not that expensive, and it's a critical
This guy's
tool.
crazy.
It's critical.
Cuban Crack says, so if I was going to just do 50% power for 5x7 pictures with a 400 millimeter lens, would that be all right? Where'd you get a 400 millimeter lens, dude?
How is your tower tall enough? Do you have what is that?
He just stands there with it.
Would an 80 centimeter even cut it for that?
An 80 would probably, yeah, because a 300's 463 millimeters for me.
It'd be there near the tippy top, though.
Yeah.
Depending on what you're marking.
I mean, if you have a legit 400 millimeter workspace lens, that's huge.
Could that be like 570?
What are you even putting under that?
You could try it. I wouldn't do it with a very expensive lens if you're going to give it a go unless it's made for it. If you're going to test it out, test it with a cheap lens.
My first thought is like really cool aluminum signs and signage for factories and power plants.
We need to get this kid on here. I want to talk to Cubing. I want to get him on here. We need to do like a Cubing Cracked interview. I want his story. This kid's so interesting to me. He's coming on asking
We're gonna crack Cubing Cracked.
Yeah, like a great that's such a good title. I want to have him on. We're gonna Cubing, you're coming on. I saw Moss. Let's shout this one out real quick. Moss says 60 watt EM7 JPT Cloud Ray MOPA. Seeing a couple warps in my Cloud Ray enclosure in the shape of what I was burning. These lasers are kind of scary. One in the top and one in the side.
Holy moly.
I can send pics if needed. Hey, guess what? These lasers generate laser radiation and it fills the room that you're in. Put your f***ing glasses on.
Or the enclosure.
Wear your goddamn safety glasses, please. These things are dangerous. They are scary. They're not toys. They're bad for you. It's not, it's not something where it's like going to melt your skin off and give you cancer. It's not that kind of radiation, but it's radiation and it's real bad for your eyes. So please make sure you're wearing safety goggles and maybe don't get naked and tan in front of it.
Unless it's a UV machine.
Yeah, for the most part, guys, like these are infrared lasers. They're like space heaters, really focused space heaters, but they can still blind you. And it's just like this kind of stuff. I don't even need to see pictures. I've seen pictures of this kind of phenomenon before, and it's real, and these things reflect even when they don't look like they are reflecting. You just can't see it. So please exercise caution. Use your equipment wisely and safely. And to Moss, it sounds, bro, like your enclosure is doing its job by absorbing that stuff instead of you. So don't trip. I just keep using it, but I would put some eyewear on if you're not.
Keep an eye on it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
and Moss, if you want to see it safely, you can go over a little shameless self promotion and watch my video, "Seeing the Unseen." If you would like to see it safely.
Yeah, I see two things because that one relates to kind of what you guys are talking about, which is Gretchling asks, do you think that what's coming off the lasers messes with monitors at all, like computer monitors?
I mean,
Not unless it's like a direct reflection.
the passive rays filling the room probably wouldn't affect the monitors, not in the short term by any means. Probably 10 years from now, if you unbox a new one compared to the old one you have, you'd probably have more wear from just using the monitor. But direct rays is what's occurring. Direct reflections.
The monitor being on is probably doing more damage to the monitor than the laser will in a lifetime.
Yeah, your eyes are far more sensitive.
Now, it will mess up remote controls that are IR remote controls, like that we've talked about.
It will interfere.
Not mess it up, but it'll just interfere.
Yeah, with remote controls. And all laser wavelengths can damage camera sensors. So
For sure.
unless you've got a bunch of super expensive cameras lying around and you can spare one if something bad happens, I would go
Like
for
you?
like a cheapo webcam.
Like you.
Yeah, that's right. I have, yes. The
I was going to say, if
LMA,
you can spare one, send one to me. I'll send you my address.
the LMA positions us very well to capture high quality footage of these machines, but for the general public I would recommend a cheap ass webcam because you can damage camera sensors.
Point in case, I'm using the Canon to capture the coin right now.
And I was going to say, if you notice with Kyle's, it's
great.
not directly above it. It's off to the side and over.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So-
off to the side and over, away from the redirection angle of the beam hitting the coin.
Miranda says somebody posted a picture of burned goggles recently, I believe. I think it was Flashback. I didn't see that. Did you guys see that? I'm assuming she's talking about Facebook because that's where she lurks.
I saw something on Facebook earlier, but I didn't know what it was because I didn't have my glasses with me. But it was like a melted something.
Flash.
But I think it was next to like a
from a
diode, maybe.
CO2 or
I thought it was a
diode, maybe.
I thought it was a diode.
Matt is like the Wilma of laser everything. I can't see without. No, I'm sorry.
Listen here, I don't know who said that because I'm also partially deaf, but the other thing I was going to tell you for going back to Cuban Cracked, it was he said it's a 300 by 300 workspace. He just saw the number 400 on it because that's the F equals 430.
Okay. That
Yeah,
makes sense.
so that's what that is. So anyway, sorry.
A 300. Yeah, you can get a pretty cheap 300 lens replaced unless it's quartz. Then you're probably talking a couple $100.
I've run pretty high power through 300 before, often. So I feel like you can do that pretty steadily without any issues.
Yeah, I think the real quartz lenses are like $350 to $400 depending on the focal length.
Yeah, they are.
Not on 100 watt, by the way, to clarify.
If you're spending $80 on a quartz lens, it's probably not quartz. We've done our due diligence. There you go, Michael.
That's what
That one's for
radiation
you.
does to you.
Doo-doo.
That one's for you, buddy. Kyle, are we gonna get to see this coin before we roll out?
You can see it in the video that's going to be coming out.
All right. He's gonna make us wait for the teaser. Michael, what's on the horizon over at Laser Engraving 911?
What's on the horizon? Next one I got coming out is going to be pretty cool. It's going to be on a whittle fiber laser.
A itty bitty?
A bitty.
A whittle baby?
Yeah, just a whittle baby, but it's pretty cool, actually.
Chill.
Yeah.
Dope. I like it. Can't wait to see it. Go subscribe to Michael's channel, guys. Laser Engraving 911. If you are joining us from Michael's channel tonight, thanks for being here. We appreciate having you guys around. And don't forget, you can catch the Laser Source podcast from now on right here on Laser Everything TV, Tuesdays at 9 o'clock p.m. EST for, again, multiple reasons. We kind of talked about it while we were testing things earlier, but essentially it's going to speed up our editing workflow. And Michael said, not Michael Mullins here with us, but Michael, the editor, said that he can basically crank these out 4 times faster when he's just doing audio. So if you want to see the video, if you like seeing our smiling faces, come live. Be here for the live show like you guys are right now, because this is going to be the only video. The next time we upload an episode of the podcast edited to the channel, it's going to be audio only. So make sure you keep it locked to LETV on those Tuesdays so that you can hit that up here. And Dave, shout out to Dave for
Dave.
a $13.99 super chat. What is it with these? Have they always been like 99s? Has it always been like that? It's so weird.
I don't know, but it's
keep up the
Canadian,
great
so
work,
yeah.
gents. Thumbs up. Word.
Thank
we
you, man.
appreciate you, Dave. And thank you to everybody else who came here and hung out with us live tonight. I seriously and sincerely appreciate each and every one of you being here. If you got value out of this episode of the Laser Source Podcast, don't forget to smash the like button. Let everybody else know the content is good. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get notified the next time we upload an episode to the channel. Boyce would like you to go buy some merch. It's lasereverything.net/merch. And hey, we matchies.
Oh, we're like the negatives of each other.
I know, I like it. Oh, Kyle's. Ooh, hey, look at that.
Oh, fancy.
If you're listening to the audio version of this, you should have been here live. Now you're gonna have to wait for Kyle's episode to come out.
Oh, he also wants Cuban Crack to DM him so we can get you on the show.
If you haven't already bought your LBX tickets, make sure you do it so that we can hang out there in person in October. Really look forward to seeing you guys.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
That's the end of the show. We are going to cut back to LETV now because we can do that, which is pretty dope. And enjoy it. I think Jessica is going to have some new episodes added to that playlist soon, so you should see the content over there continue to expand. Is there anything else? Am I missing, guys? Am I good?
Discord, LMA.
Discord and LMA, and what's the other one? Oh, Facebook. Gross. Links to all those down in the description. Discord, Facebook, absolutely free. If you need help, if you didn't get your question answered, hit those places up. We will get to you as fast as humanly possible, or one of our great community members will, like Michael Dias or Anthony. So links to those are down there too. If you enjoy what we do over here at Laser Everything, it's all thanks to our LMA members. They make all of the content that we upload here available for everyone for free. We don't lock anything behind paywalls because we have the LMA that supports the channel. And if you're not already a member over there, consider going to sign up. You can find out more over at masters.lasereverything.net. I think that's all I've got. If you guys are good, then thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Laser Source Podcast, and we will see you in the next one. Have a great night.
We'll be right back.